All right, and welcome back. Looks like we had a couple technical issues, but we're looking at a second sounding rocket launch. We're back on the pad with a second sounding rocket. We are aiming for, I believe, a 2,200-kilometer record and contract. And we'll begin with a countdown in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Main engine sequence start. Off.
Propulsion appears nominal.
Through 2 kilometers. At this point, we can begin to see a little bit of the interior of Florida.
Max Q.
Right, we're receiving reports of technical issues, including dropped frames and that sort of thing. So stand by and we'll have a look at it.
Stage 1 power and telemetry nominal. 10 seconds to MECO.
Hopefully those issues should be fixed.
We have second stage ignition.
Another nominal performance from our main engine.
Altitude 100 kilometers.
Past the Kármán line.
Ten seconds to SECO.
Go for stage 3.
Below us, you can see the shoreline of Florida as we continue upwards
Stage
towards
ignition.
hopefully 3,000 kilometers. It looks like we have a slightly better camera angle this time for seeing upwards into the southern United States, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Booster? Telemetry check? I'm reading a failure here.
Booster also sees failure.
Okay. Looks like we had a third stage engine failure. With 28% of the propellant remaining, our apogee is only 1,800 kilometers.
Which will not be enough to get the aim for contract for 2,200 kilometers.
Yeah, okay. Range best blow it now, and we'll try a third launch with this.
Detonating.
Okay, so we have no reason to suspect it was anything other than a normal engine failure. These are not super reliable engines, so I think we probably should just try again with basically the same setup. We aren't going over rated burn time or anything. There's not really much we can do to increase the reliability of that. So yeah, if you want to go into the VAB, load up the A43S and build that, and then raise it to the top of the build queue. Yeah, we're going to have to raise the A43S to the top of the build queue because due to the contract time limits, we need this thing built before that.
Flight, if we do encounter another failure, and we consider waiting until after apogee to pop it, so that
Oh, absolutely.
To contest the issues with the Ascent console.
Yep. Yeah.
Public Affairs has audio problems.
Okay. Yep, and then can just go ahead and pull up KCT from there and build. Or yeah. I think we don't need to rush build it really. Well, it's cheap enough. You might as well rush build it by Mark or not. It's either way is fine. Okay.
Yeah, I believe the contract is enough for several cycles.
Yeah, it's a 90-day contract.
Only 90.
Yeah. It's because. Yeah, no, it should be a 90-day contract, I think.
I mean, I believe I have observed similar contracts being 360 in recent versions. I don't know if that's correct.
They're 360 Kerbin days.
Oh, possibly. Yeah, that sounds like a plausible thing.
Yeah, it's because all contracts for contract configurator have to specify their deadlines in Kermit days.
No, that says deadline 325 days, 9 hours.
That confuses me.
Also, we should probably take on another Sounding Rocket medium contract for this next launch.
Yep. I concur. Did we actually complete the medium? Yeah, we did. Okay.
right, and here we go with a third sounding rocket of the same design as the other two. With luck, this time we will not have an engine failure, and we will manage to break 30, I can't count, 3,000 kilometers. We're launching 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal. Through max Q. Ten seconds to MECO.
Go for staging.
MECO.
Nominal so far.
Upper
Good
stage
light.
ignition. Stage 2 propulsion is nominal. Altitude 100 kilometers. Ten seconds to SECO.
Go for staging.
SECO. Third stage ignition.
This is where we had the trouble last time. With luck, we will be able to fulfill our contract. From this position, you can see almost the entire peninsula of Florida, and as we gain altitude, you're able to see the entire Caribbean Sea.
Stage 3 remains nominal.
Cross your fingers, because here we go.
TECO.
And we're over 3,000 kilometers. All right. Great work. With burnout, extend the antenna.
Stage 3 power and telemetry nominal.
And we've just switched to map view to check our projected trajectory. And back to regular view. Getting a nice view of the curvature of the Earth right now, as well as the southern half of the United States. Looking off the left of the screen, you can see a bit of desert, the Californian desert, and almost the entire Mexican. And now we're panning at the eastern seaboard, along Virginia, along the Delaware, along the Chesapeake, and then there's New York and Massachusetts. And now we're moving towards the Caribbean. You can see Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Florida Keys. I believe our streamer took a vacation down there a few years ago.
Okay, it looks like we're going to be here for a little while as we're still a long way from apogee.
Still facing down towards Cuba and South America. Looks like it's quite foggy there today. Looks like New England's been having a bit of weather.
Shocker.
Secondary, please give your reading of time to apoapsis.
Okay, calculated manually, it's sorry, telemetry hung for a sec. That's 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes to apogee.
Telemetry here gives a value of 8 minutes and 20 seconds. About 500 seconds.
That's 500. Mine is was reading about 560 at that point. So
Sorry, which screen had the time to apogee?
All right, I now have time to apogee of 8 minutes, 480 seconds. At this point, you can get an excellent picture of the curvature of the Earth.
$450 kilometers downrange.
requesting time to amp through the direct through data link appears to give sensible seeming values and is now 7 minutes.
Copy
That's
that.
420.
That does sound about right.
Appears also to be going down at approximately 1 second per second.
500 kilometers downrange.
My console is reading 760 kilometers downrange.
Your console is correct. I had to restart my console and then it didn't pull from CCFS.
Can see almost the polls at this point. Also, we should have a couple of on-screen displays coming back online.
Yep,
Please inform us if they cause stream lag.
Now showing 780 kilometers.
Four minutes to apogee.
Drop below 1 kilometer per second vertical. Telemetry still looks nominal.
Battery level through 40%.
It's getting a little worrying, but we'll make it. We don't need to talk to it on the way down. 800 meters vertical.
Just coming up on 3,000 kilometers here, which was what we need for our record.
Just under 3 minutes to apogee.
Estimate 11 minutes remaining battery.
$2,900 kilometers at this point.
Altitude reads 3,000 kilometers.
And that is enough, I believe, to break the record which we were aiming for.
Excellent. Okay, on that basis, I suggest we go back to the Space Center and then launch the biosatellites, which unless the medium sounding rocket contracts are quite low, we will not be able to fulfill.
It's converting some of that to horizontal. I have vertical H is considerably too high.
Okay, Stream points out that we shouldn't just let this burn up on descent. So Range, if you would like to do the honors.
Detonating.
LOS.
Looks like we've had another successful launch after the last failure.
Yep. So far, so good. Okay, so the biosatellites, assuming nothing fails, we should be able to launch and recover fairly quickly. They are queued up. If you want to check in mission control and see what altitude the medium contracts are giving. Yeah, definitely. If it's 140 kilometers, definitely grab that, and we can try the next one.
Be advised, I have a theory about the problem with Ascent console.
Oh,
I noticed that towards the end, the vertical H, which is horizontal speed at apogee, was reading 1500, whereas I believe it should have been approximately the 850 meters per second that was our horizontal speed at the time. It may have something to do with the rotational transform of velocity to account for curvature of the Earth. Possibly that may be an approximation.
Yeah.
Invalid at highly elliptical trajectories.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Looks like it's a foggy morning here at the Kennedy Space Center, so we will be launching in the fog. Just waiting on word from the flight director to begin the countdown.
Stage at 2.
Alright, here we are, foggy morning at Kennedy Space Center, beginning our launch of our first A4B rocket, which carries a few science experiments in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Hold.
Cancel.
Hold and roll back to 10 at command. Booster.
All right.
Give us a moment here, flight.
Yep.
Okay, boosters go.
Restarting the countdown in 10, 10,
go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
ignition.
0. It looks like we've had a fairly successful launch.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Through 2,000 meters.
We're through max Q. Does this want a coast flight?
Yep. Yeah, you're going to coast.
Beautiful sunset.
Call out at 60 kilometers so we can trigger one of the bio experiments.
$60 kilometers.
Okay, trigger one. Keep data from one of the experiments, reset in the other. It's on action group 3.
Collecting a few science experiments now before we return.
Past the Kármán line. Keep one of them and recycle the other.
Looks like we've had a failure to properly collect science data. However, we do have a second flight scheduled to go right after this one, so we should be able to get those. Transmission instead of collection.
Scientists just get a preview of the data then.
I'm sure they'll be happy to see it. This is biological data, so it may be helpful in potential future launches of manned craft. Looks like it's actually a sunrise from space over the eastern United States. You can see that the sun is actually white and not yellow, as was previously believed.
Flight, please give altitude for retrofire on the way down.
Yep. We're going for retrofire at 100. We'll separate at 155. Then we should be at about 150 when you engage ullage and start the retrofire.
Roger. Wilco.
Yep, we're just hitting apogee.
Yep, apogee was 206 kilometers.
Spin still looks nominal. Orientation is good for retrofire.
Beginning to decrease altitude now and prepare to fire the lower booster in order to prevent a lithobraking event.
Main electric bus nominal. Charge used is 4%. Preparing for retrofire.
And just
Go for
normal
sep.
main.
Go for retro.
And now the main
Both
engines are firing.
And stage once again to arm the chute.
Burnout in 5. Burnout.
Yep, looks like we did a successful braking, so we should do fine.
Altitude 80 kilometers.
Mach 3. Mach 4, sorry. Peak of Mach 4. And change.
6 Gs. G-forces have peaked.
20 kilometers. Turbo pause.
Ten kilometers.
Coming in at about 170 meters per second right now.
7 kilometers.
Vertical speed slowly dropping until we deploy
4
chutes.
kilometers.
Drug coming up.
There's the drogue chute dropping speed to
2
below
kilometers.
100 meters per second. and just know we'll be deploying a main chute, slow ourselves down to recovery speed.
Recovery net splashdown point 173 kilometers on 94.6 from Cape Canaveral.
Confirmed.
Coming in about 4.5 meters per second, which is well within the range of safety for a landing. And as you can see, you can just barely see the sun this time, despite what you saw earlier with the sun high in the sky.
Twenty seconds to splashdown. Through max Q, just over 80 kPa.
Okay. Go for science. Keep one, recycle the other.
5 seconds to Miko. Miko.
Finished our experiments, and we are now just waiting to return them to the surface. Everything appears to be functioning nominally at this stage.
Past the Kármán line, another 50 kilometers, and we can get some more science data.
Current kilometer remain nominal. Altitude 145 kilometers. 150. Velocity below 1 kilometer per second. Upwarp speed 207.7 kilometers.
That will be enough for us to get our 200-kilometer contact.
Coming up on apogee. Yeah, this time same as last time. Separated 155, Legend Retro at 150.
Wilco flight. 200 kilometers. Apogee.
Orientation good. Spin rate is slowing, but we're still oriented correctly.
We are now approaching 330 meters per second vertical speed down.
Downrange distance 90 kilometers. Descent rate 500 meters per second. Altitude 160.
Go for SEP. Retrofire.
Retro's lit.
Good light.
Retro propulsion is nominal. Retro burnout, descent rate 100 meters per second, altitude 133 kilometers.
We should survive that. Stage again for the shoot if you haven't yet.
And 7 minutes in, we've almost completed the entire launch. I'm just hoping for the chute to work properly.
– 100 kilometers. Descent rate 820. Speed 1 kps. In fact, descent time would be 60 seconds.
All right, almost there.
Altitude 60 kilometers. Descent rate 1200. Exact descent time would now be 30 seconds. Deceleration exceeding 1G, exceeding 2Gs. Six Gs. 7 Gs deceleration. And through max G. Altitude 15 kilometers.
Just waiting for the chute to deploy, and then we can call it a successful mission.
Altitude 10 kilometers. Eight kilometers. Six kilometers. Downrange distance 184.
Heading through the cloud layer right about now.
4 kilometers. Three kilometers.
Let's hope the chute functions.
2 kilometers.
Shoot's good.
Descent rate 57 meters per second. Altitude 1 kilometer.
And hoping the main chute will function too.
Good canopy.
And dropping to about 4.5 meters per second as with the other launch. And it looks like we will be set as well.
Recovery team packages 28.432 north, 78.736 west.
Concur.
Altitude 250.
Still descending at 4.5 meters per second and waiting for the recovery team. It's 150 meters at this point.
Twenty seconds to splashdown.
All right,
10
everybody,
seconds.
here we go.
Splashdown.
And we're good.
Looks like we've had a success. Here we go.
All right, clear to recover.
And I believe that wraps it up for this series of streams. We'll be seeing you next weekend, I believe. If you want to see more, I'll put a link in the chat to the forum thread.